hijab is so much a part of my daily life that typically it is not something that I have to think about, much less talk about. And yet I sit here in front of you all, very visibly, a hijab-wearing woman, here to talk about this hijab. I played 4 years on my high school's tennis team in this hijab. I've participated in public protests in the United States and have been free to share and stand by my beliefs in this hijab. While wearing hijab has not been easy in the United States, there is not a thing in the world that I believe I cannot accomplish in this hijab. There's not a door in this country I feel I cannot open. There's not a room I believe I cannot occupy. This, as we have learned from Amna, is not the experience of Indian Muslim girls and women in India right now. India is home to hundreds of languages, religions, and cultural practices. While many of us share a common history and heritage, none of us quite look the same or practice in the same ways. Each community, be it religious, cultural, or linguistic, brings a unique beauty to the fabric that is the Indian people. It is the agenda of the current government of India to destroy this diversity and to establish itself as a cultural ethno-state. India's democracy is on the brink of crisis. Right now, girls that look like me are fighting for their rights to enter the schools that they have been attending for years. They are being hounded and harassed as they walk to the front doors of their colleges and are denied entry simply because they are wearing hijab. As some of you may be aware of, deveiling or anti-veiling is a historical phenomenon that has its roots in the colonial past of many countries. From official policies in countries like Algeria and Turkey, women were once barred from public life simply for wearing clothing that expressed their religious practice. These policies at the time were presented as progressive as they worked to remove supposedly archaic and regressive beliefs around the veil. What these policies and campaigns really did was remove Muslim women from the public sphere entirely and dehumanize communities with local practices around clothing. Many have said that what is happening in India right now with the so-called privatization of religious practice is also secular or progressive. That Muslim women, we are somehow brainwashed into our choices. So now governments must step in and deny us of choice. What I can tell you is that there is nothing progressive about restricting women and girls from access to education, forcing women and girls to remove their clothing against their will, and hounding and harassing women and girls on the street as they try to attend their colleges and schools. Quite frankly, it is humiliating, infantilizing, and patronizing to claim that as women, we are unable to make our own choices. Furthermore, the privatization of religious and cultural practices is not secularism in India. It is a selective secularism that positions religious minorities as having to be religiously neutral, while the current government advances and makes public its own agenda around the creation of a fascist Hindutva nation state. I would like to speak as candidly as possible on this matter. What is happening right now in India in front of the entire world is mass sexual harassment. Indian Muslim women are being told what they can and cannot wear by men and by institutions. The consent of thousands of women is being violated as they are told to strip pieces of clothing that they do not wish to remove. It is my firm belief that all women should get to choose what we wear or don't wear each day as we leave our homes in the morning. Our silence on efforts to ban the hijab in India means the approval of the violation of Indian Muslim women's bodily autonomy. As a future educator myself, as an aspiring educator, it is my fundamental belief that all people deserve access to education and that no one deserves to be barred from any classroom because of the way they look, believe, practice, or dress. And as I look toward the brave young women of India fighting for their right to go to school as they are, I am reminded of my childhood hero, Ruby Bridges, who had the tremendous task of desegregating an all-white school in the United States in the 1960s. I am reminded that even today, young girls from around the world are still being tasked with the responsibility of pushing back against racism and bigotry simply because they wish to go to school. This fight is not about our personal beliefs or ideas about what hijab is or is not. This fight is about whether we are willing to accept a world where women are denied the choice to wear what they wish to wear. I urge you all to stand with the brave Muslim women of India as they make history and actively resist against the rise of fascism in India. Thank you so much.